Shankar, you have been bullish on small cap stocks for a long time, and do you think so large companies will not be able to take advantage of these big bang reforms? Or going forward, what is your outlook on large cap stocks? If you can just elaborate.
मतलब लार्ज कैप स्टॉक्स में जैसा मैंने कहा कि एक बड़ी कंपनी है जैसे लार्सन एंड टूब्रो है या हिंदुस्तान लीवर है, इन तरह की कंपनियों के लिए जेन्युइन 8% ग्रोथ चाहिए, जेन्युइन एक्चुअली होना चाहिए उतना, प्लस मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली नॉट जस्ट रियल जीडीपी ग्रोथ बट नॉमिनल जीडीपी ग्रोथ 13-14% होना चाहिए।
राइट।
तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि नवनीत, माय गुड फ्रेंड, वो उनको 14% नॉमिनल जीडीपी ग्रोथ कहां से नजर आ रहा है, अनलेस ही इज बेटिंग ऑन अ बिग अपटेक इन इन्फ्लेशन गोइंग टू 8 or 9%। तो by and large cap की earnings growth will track nominal GDP growth. By and large, there will be exceptions.
Yes, sir.
तो अगर 14-15%, 17% आपको चाहिए earnings growth, तो 14-15% कम से कम nominal होना चाहिए, जो फिलहाल मेरे हिसाब से हम 5-7% के आसपास चल रहे हैं। इसके कारण ही earnings growth नहीं आ रहा है।
Sure.
तो दोनों चीजें नहीं हो सकती कि inflation ही बहुत कम हो जाए, earnings growth ही बहुत बढ़ जाए। हमारे पास इस तरह के फेसबुक टाइप की कंपनीज नहीं है, हमारे यहाँ ओल्ड इकोनॉमी टाइप कंपनी ज्यादा है जिनको की जीडीपी से हाई कोरिलेशन है उनकी अर्निंग्स ग्रोथ का।
Last 7 साल the overall growth has been 8-9%. Last 20 years the growth has been 14-15. I think in next 3-5 साल में we can go back to that 14-15. Nominal GDP will grow at 11-12. I still believe maybe 7-8% growth, 5% inflation, 12%, and maybe a good part of corporate India can grow at 13-14.
So Ashok, you would like to quickly add on that?
You know, my own view is that it doesn't matter. At this point of time, with the amount of liquidity in the world, if India can only sustain and show consistency, हमारा प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हम 2 साल अच्छा दिखाने के बाद खुद अपने पाँव पे कुल्हाड़ी मार देते हैं। If we can avoid that, if we can just demonstrate that this time around we have a good, stable political system which will last for a longish period of time,
right,
that we have an economic system that will not be disturbed, that we will not bring in and spring new backtrack taxes and retroactive taxes and make petty changes in our legislative mindset, I think that's adequate, because as I said, liquidity in the world sees India as a unique destination.
Sure.
Or we don't need to do too much to attract more capital. We just need to make sure that we don't hit ourselves on the foot again and again. That's all. And I think we'll get the capital.
Sure. As far as quarterly earnings is concerned, how do you see quarterly earnings performing? और यहाँ पे लेके एक bunch of sectors हैं जो perform कर रहे हैं, with telcos, auto, metals and energy, and rest are dragging. आपको क्या लगता है कि when we see this trend reversing और कहाँ से लेके improved earnings का एक trend देखने हम मिल सकता है?
मेरा मानना है कि मुझे कोई बहुत दिलचस्पी नहीं है कि लार्ज कैप्स कब परफॉर्म करने लगेंगे। पैसा बहुत बन रहा है मार्केट में। अगर आप देखें डिफरेंस बिटवीन निफ्टीज परफॉर्मेंस एंड स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स परफॉर्मेंस पिछले 2 साल से देख लें, डेटा बहुत क्लियर है, बहुत स्पष्ट है। तो मुझे ऐसा कोई शौक नहीं कि लार्सन एंड टूब्रो 40% बढ़ जाए तो मैं बहुत खुश हो जाऊंगा। मेरे पास एक शेयर भी नहीं है, ना मुझे लेना है। लेकिन मिनी लार्सन एंड टूब्रो कम से कम 25 नजर आते हैं मुझे जी। मिनी हिंदुस्तान लीवर नजर आते हैं, मिनी एसबीआई नजर आते हैं। मैं एंड आई थिंक आपके जो व्यूअर्स हैं वो भी उनमें ज़्यादा दिलचस्पी रखेंगे बनस्पत की बड़ी कंपनियों में। वहाँ पर काफ़ी ग्रोथ है, बड़ी अच्छी कंपनियाँ हैं। एंड आई थिंक कि वही एरिया है जो मुझे ये साल कम से कम नजर आता है कि वहाँ पर अनदर 20-30% ओवरऑल ग्रोथ उस इंडेक्स में या एटलीस्ट चुनिंदा कंपनियों में आ सकता है।
Sure, Navneet, what's your view? Or going forward, Indian improved earnings का एक trend when can we see from here on?
I think so. So जो भी earnings को drag कर रहे थे, whether it's the corporate lenders, whether it's the commodity related companies more driven by the rural consumption where there was distress, I think वहाँ सब जगह reversal है. And over a period of time, I think next couple of years, most of these sectors should have revival, and then the earnings should improve.
हमारे साथ आनंद राठी साहब भी मौजूद हैं यहाँ पे। So जैसे हम Indian economy and going forward, we are talking about India as a 25-year story on air on. What are the factors do you feel that can take the economy to the next level? If you can just quickly highlight on that, sir.
I think a lot of these points have been highlighted by my esteemed colleagues here. Consistency is very important in our policies. I think the second is, I think the economic reforms, which
Sure.
GST is, to my mind, is a big changer. I think, I don't believe it will really increase inflation, because the tax rates which they're talking about, if it is 18%, I think the overall tax impact is much higher. And big part is that this will bring into economy, in the tax regime, many things which are not today are covered. So I think, to my mind, if it comes, it would be good for fiscal, fiscal management.
So when do you see market touching 50,000 from here on?
Of Sensex?
Yeah.
I think 3 years, 3 to 4 years is my call. 3 to 4 years. ये सेंसेक्स की बात मैंने कहा, इसलिए रिट्री पूछा कि सेंसेक्स पूछ रहे हैं।
आशीष चौहान साहब बैठे हैं।
So I think 3 to 4 years is my call. I think we can see the growth coming by at least about 15% in next 3 years.
So Ashok, how do you feel from here on next 25 years जो हमारी थीम है और यहाँ से लेकर इंडेक्स या मार्केट कौन से लेवल पर आप देखते हैं?
My own view is that we are in a stable position. The market is benefiting from immense amount of liquidity and attention. Is the market a little expensive today? It is a little expensive.
Okay.
Has it run ahead of itself a little? Markets always run ahead of themselves. The real economy always follows the markets. But listen, we shouldn't be surprised if there's a correction in the near future. You know, market never runs one way. And if there is a correction, I would think it's not bad. It will give an opportunity to new investors who have not been able to make an investment thus far to come into the market. But overall, there is no denying the fact that if there is consistency of legislation, if there is consistent growth, whether that growth is 7% or 9% doesn't matter. India will still be the only country growing at that level, and the world liquidity will move towards India. I would argue that the market is nicely positioned for a stable growth from here on.
यहाँ पे लेकर 25 years from here on, if you are willing to give your comments, how do we see the Sensex and Nifty performing?
My point is, market is always going to give you a lot of opportunities.
All right.
All the time. In February this year, market fell very sharply, as we know.
All right.
And at that point, a lot of stocks in that 1 week lost maybe 20-30%.
Right.
वहाँ से वो डबल ट्रिपल हो गए हैं पिछले 5-6 महीनों में. तो ये तो एक दस्तूर है बाजार का, ऊपर नीचे होता रहेगा. By and large, in my view, interest rate scenario globally cannot change. ये कहते रहते हैं लेकिन बस का नहीं है कि रेट हाइक हो. दुनिया में कहीं भी कोई ग्रोथ नहीं है. इसका मतलब है कि equities will always remain a more attractive option for people rather than fixed income, which means the money will keep coming to chase higher returns. I mean, that is very simply the broad macro arithmetic. उसके बीच में हम well positioned हैं, पैसे का एक lion share हमको आता रहेगा. उस पैसे को हम ठीक से थोड़ा इस्तेमाल कर ले, I think we'll be okay.
How do you see market performing from here on, and what levels are you comfortable? I know that you being a mutual fund house, you cannot give levels, but definitely if you can just highlight some.
इंडिया में भी आप चारों चीज़ देख लीजिए. एक रेवोल्यूशन आ रहा है मेरे को लग रहा है, वेयर पीपल आर पुटिंग मनी इन फाइनेंशियल असेट्स, पेंशन फंड्स आर इन्वेस्टिंग. आई टॉक्ड अबाउट मोदी, आई टॉक्ड अबाउट द मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी फ्रेमवर्क, एंड वी हैव द राइट डेमोग्राफिक्स इन प्लेस. आई थिंक यूएस हैड अ पीरियड ऑफ नाइस नॉन इन्फ्लेशनरी कंटिन्यूड एक्सपेंशन फॉर 20-30 years. That's why all the asset classes they did well. I think India may be in that 20-year period.
मोदी गवर्नमेंट के अभी 2 साल कंप्लीट हो गए. लेट मी डायल्यूट दिस फॉर यू. हाउ डू यू सी दिस 2 years of Modi government versus 10 years of UP government in terms of reforms?
We'll have to give them more time. I think 2 years is too short. Any data that one analyzes, अगर कोई कंपनी में देख रहे तो कम से कम 5 साल का डेटा तो देखना ही पड़ता है. So I think it's too early days to start to say good, bad, ugly.
Ashok, so you would like to quickly add to that?
The only thing I'd like to say is based on engagement and interaction that one has had with this government, this government certainly believes in looking at the detail and the nitty-gritty. So, you know, when you say that will they be able to implement GST in 2017, unlikely that they'll be able to do it by April 2017, but high probability that they'll be able to do it by October 2017. And that despite the fact that, you know, it needs a lot of detailed homework to be done.
Sure, Navneet, your quick reactions on that. Modi government के जो 2 साल complete हुए हैं, and how do you rate this government in terms of reforms going forward, and what are your expectations from them?
The perception about India has undergone a tremendous change with the way PM has gone around the world and has created the perception, the far better perception about India. So I think some of these things have a far-reaching implications, and we have to wait and watch.
Sure, Ashok. How do you see, or what are the threats that can derail the big expectations going on from here?
Resolving the banking corporate impasse, right pricing those assets. Fortunately for India, long-term insurance and pension plans around the world find India an attractive destination given the currency stability, even at 14-15%. So unlike private equity, which has historically said we don't want to invest unless we get 20 and 22% return, pension funds, and you've read about Brookfield, you're reading about CPP, you're reading about CDPQ, these guys are flush with liquidity. And in their case, because of life expectancy growing up, liabilities have become long dated. So they're now looking for long dated assets.
Right.
And which country other than India really to provide long dated assets? So they're very comfortable with 25-year risk, 25-year investment in India. All that we need to do is find a mechanism where banks and promoters are prepared to say, let's forget the past. आप थोड़ा हेयर कट लीजिए, मैं थोड़ा बेचता हूँ. At least the asset becomes productive. It's refinanced. Banks get the money back. And I guess if we can find a solution to that impasse,
Sure.
I would say we've done well for us.